Hey, how's everybody doing? Figure we go through a little quiet time, a little quiet ride through Dewey Beach, Delaware. Yeah, this was the perfect little town, little city back in the 80s and early to mid 90s. And recently, it's not been the quiet little peaceful town lately. I would say in the past 15 years, not just Dewey Beach, but Bethany Beach, Rehoboth Beach is so incredibly packed with people that you cannot find a parking spot. Now, I know that's a pretty good, healthy thing for a town or city or a beach area, right? But what I'm trying to say is it had its personality back in the 80s and 90s, you know? Now, I'm 40 years old, but back before my teens or even my early teens, during my early teens, it was a nice town where you can go enjoy, walk around, and not be crowded with people. It had its personal little businesses, mom and pop shops, and you would remember these people, and the same people would work there year after year on these summer jobs, or work there all year if the store was open, which was rare because most of the stores were closed. But you remember these people, and they remembered you. Like they had a fat burger, for instance, in Dewey Beach that we're driving through now on the right hand side. They used to have one there in that little shopping center, and they used to have a little surf shop there. And there used to be a little line there, and that was like the main thing that a lot of people liked. You know what I mean? It was like a landmark. Delicious, huge burgers. It was like a half a pound of meat on these hamburgers. Fresh right there. You could look through the window or the open grill right there and see the cook cooking your burger. I'm talking this burger couldn't fit in your mouth. You had it cut in half. But now it's all popular main companies now, stores that you heard of. For instance, like they had mom and pop pharmacies back in. I know pharmacy ain't a big deal, but like your Walgreens or like how Walmart took over, not just hardware stores, but supermarkets and everything and monopolized everything. That's what disappeared from Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, and Rehoboth Beach. All these beaches are small beaches all connected to each other. You have first Rehoboth Beach, and then going to the east, you have Dewey Beach, then Bethany Beach, then Fenwick Island, and then finally you cross the line from Fenwick Island, the Delaware Maryland line, and then probably within another 10, 12 to 15 miles is Ocean City, Maryland. And of course, that's where all the craziness happens once you cross that line. The real craziness happens is Ocean City. If you want really, really crazy, you go to Wildwood, New Jersey. That's really crazy. But what I'm for me is growing up, this place was personal, and it's lost all its charm, and it really gets annoying even driving there. It makes you not want to go into these little beaches that you grew up at and have memories as a child. This is the only place I have childhood memories that are very, very good memories. And all these, I don't want to be too mean, but these yuppies, uh, there was always yuppies, but there were more like beach bums back in the 80s and 90s. But now they're all like snobby people with money, are just like taking up all the areas, just like they are. Like San Francisco has a huge homeless problem. It lost its identity. It had like a grunge scene, like a 1968, 67 rock and roll scene. Now it's all rich yuppies and billion-dollar sky rises looking down at the homeless people, literally looking at people starving and addicted to drugs while they're billionaires. They say, I just seen a documentary on San Francisco that every 11,000 residents, Every one out of 11,000 people that lives in San Francisco is a billionaire. And I found that really troubling. And I think this is what's happening in Rehoboth, Dewey, Bethany, and Fenwick Island, these small beaches here in Delaware. Delaware is so small, right? Second smallest state in the United States, and the first
Parking
to ratify the Constitution,
over
the
here, and they
Union,
got a
right? To
nice
sign
little trail
into the
walk over
Union.
here.
That's why it's called the first state. But it's got great history, Got old Newcastle, where actually George Washington walked these sidewalks of. Benjamin Franklin, he spent nights and stuff like that. William Penn, George Reed, all those founding fathers. So it's got great history. But the history that I remember, though, at the beach, we used to, I used to live up north. It's only about an hour and a half away, exactly an hour and a half from where I lived was Newcastle, Delaware. I was born in Wilmington, Delaware, which Wilmington, Delaware now is a complete mess. It's totally destroyed by violence, murder, and drugs. You know, Heroin has took over that town like a storm for the past 10 to 15 years, easy. But the beach was always a safe haven, always somewhere where you could always get away from the drama, uh, downstate or upstate, I'm sorry. What we call up top, is called up north. We call it up top. People in Delaware says, "Are you going up top?" That means they're going to Wilmington, Newcastle, up north, up the state. And down south was always the good, peaceful side. We ran into like beach bums or, like the peaceful dudes, like, "What's up, man?" Like, the cool, like, beach dudes environment. Everybody was laid back, smiling. They waved to you. There's an area where is called Long Neck Road, where there's a place called Tunnel. It's a company, and they own all these trailer parks, but they're not trailer parks like you think. These are beach resort trailer parks, and now they're turning into real trailer parks. If you get my drift, full of drugs, full of crime now, and it's all ruining everything, not just for my memories of growing up as a child, but many, many thousands of people, I'm sure, because I see it on vlogs, I see it on chats and everything about how Delaware is going down. The southern part of Delaware is going downhill because up north has always been downhill. That's where the crime and all that stuff's always been. But south was always to get away from that. Now it's like the whole state of Delaware. Where do you go? And the only place to get away from the drugs and crime, the high crime rates, right, is to have a lot of money. That's the only way in Delaware to get away from this stuff now because the state is so small. A lot of people are going to Maryland or Jersey, but I always had a love for Maryland. I lived in Elkton, Maryland for 10 years. So I will go to possibly live in the future, maybe the next 5 years or so, maybe in Eastern Shore, Maryland, because that's kind of preserved like the old Rehoboth and the old Dewey Beach, like I'm telling you now. So I just wanted to put that out there as we cruise by on this video and just show you it still looks charming and stuff like that. Doesn't look ran down, right? But no, trust me when I tell you that this place is on the decline for normal people like me or you that's watching this video at this time. It's going to be billionaires and poor people, just like San Francisco. That's my personal opinion. That's my personal fears. I see it every year. Every year I go down the shore. I live here now. I only live 20 minutes away from the beach. So I'm seeing it on a personal first level basis now. So yeah. So till then, sign off. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.